What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Affiliate Marketing Academy. Today, we're going to be talking about how to achieve success as an affiliate with SEO. We're joined by John Limbocker, who's the CEO and founder of Internet Dominators. So stay tuned, and I hope you learn a ton today. Thanks for joining us on today's episode of Affiliate Marketing Academy. Today, we're here with John Limbocker. And before we get started, I just want to get the audience to know a little bit more about you, John. So if you can just quickly intro yourself and what you do.
Okay. Yeah, I've been in the SEO field since about the mid-90s. When I started into it, we didn't even know what to call it. So I've been in it that long.
Wow.
I transitioned, through everything: web development, marketing, training, all that good stuff. So I'm fairly well-rounded.
Cool. That's awesome. And you're with Internet Dominators, correct?
Internet Dominators, yeah, that's our company.
Amazing. The thing with affiliate marketing is that I feel like a lot of people don't really tap into SEO. We have a lot of people that do paid ads and email marketing.
Sure.
But I feel like a lot of people just don't do this. Why do you think affiliates should use SEO instead of another traffic source?
Well, I know SEO is the best traffic you're ever going to get. Because when somebody is searching for something specific, there's no better time to get in front of them. All other forms of traffic, like any kind of paid advertising, is disruptive marketing. And to be disruptive, you've got to be really good. You have to channel them into something that they don't want to do.
Right, yeah.
That's much more difficult. I would rather take somebody that's like in the process of looking for something that I offer and just put it in front of them. And that's what SEO does. It's like matchmaking. It's really, like I said, it's the best traffic you're ever going to find.
Right. Because like you said, they're already searching for whatever it is they're searching for. So
yeah,
it's a lot more organic.
It's that whole cliche of being in the right place at the right time.
Right. Yeah.
It's absolutely
I like that.
The right place at the right time.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So there's a lot of tricks to it too that make it easy, that a lot of people don't know. So hopefully we'll share some of those with you guys today.
Yeah, absolutely. I know very little about SEO, to be honest. It's like the one part of marketing that I've always wanted to learn more about. So I'm hoping to learn a lot from you today.
Okay. Well, I guess probably the best place for us to start is just kind of an overview.
Yeah, for sure.
Search engine optimization, really these days, it's in three pieces. There's what is called on-page optimization, which is like the code on your site, the content of your site, your tags, all that stuff, which, I'll kind of go through that in a minute. But then there's off-page optimization. And this is where it gets more into like a popularity contest, like how many people link into you. And if nobody links to you, that tells the search engine you're probably not important enough for them to care about.
Oh.
So that's where you get in. You probably hear things like link building,
right,
and social signals and all that stuff. Because the search engines look at that to see if they should be promoting you as well, because they want to put the best stuff at the top.
Right, yeah.
That's
that
a
makes
big
sense.
signal for them. And then the new signal, kind of the new thing that they've added in over, I don't know, probably the last 5 or 6 years, is actually AI. They're using AI to identify what is a good user experience. So
wow.
User experience has absolutely come into the picture as the third piece to the puzzle.
Right.
That's kind of what we have up against us. If you're going to try and compete in this, you've got those three categories. It's kind of like a triathlon.
Right, yeah.
You can't just like show up and master one of them. You have to really compete in all three categories if you want to win.
Of course.
And, there is a lot of benefit to winning. That is for sure.
Yeah, of course. Seems like there's a lot of layers, but it seems also very beneficial. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's definitely the juice is worth the squeeze.
I like that. That's awesome. I know you mentioned that AI has helped a lot in the last 5 years, but how do you think SEO has changed in the last year?
Oh, I would say in the last year, it's just accelerated more toward the AI, which when I talk about AI and SEO, I'm talking about the algorithm that the search engines are using to identify what a good user experience is.
Right.
So they're looking at these signals based on users. Like one of the signals is click-through ratio. Like if you go up in the search, you'll notice there's like 10 people to choose from. And they know just by default that the very top search should get 34% of the clicks. Just if all things are equal, 34% of the people are going to click that top listing. But if more people are clicking the lower 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a signal. Their AI is picking up on that of those are better than the one we put at the top. So they'll push that up.
That's really cool.
So yeah, they're looking at a lot of that. So click-through ratio is one signal they look at. Another one is what happens after they click. How long do they spend on that site? How many pages deep do they go? How often do they return? What's their frequency of revisiting that site? And if they see a pattern like, hey, this site has really good user interaction, they want to put it at the top. They want to provide the best results for their customers. And they know that, like, that's why the search engines hate SEO people. They don't want their stuff manipulated. They don't want their listings to be like taken over because they know that the SEO people aren't really concerned with quality. And this goes back to the core of the very beginning of SEO. It's like everybody just wanted their stuff at the top, whether it was good or not, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And from the search engine perspective, they don't want that. They want quality. They want the best stuff at the top. So that's why they're looking at all three of those categories to kind of round it out and figure out for themselves who belongs here.
Yeah, of course.
And it's fluid. It's a very constantly changing game. You know, they're constantly, like every second of every day, their machine is reevaluating all this stuff. So if it gets new signals, it might make a new choice. And
yeah, so it's always changing.
Yeah, you could
never know what's next.
Go from number one to number nothing.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. You got to just keep up.
Yeah, it's definitely a cat and mouse game, that's for sure.
Yeah, what I learned initially is that SEO is a long-term game, so you can't just expect results overnight. Sometimes it'll take even 6 months.
Yeah.
But do you say like sometimes it takes a little longer, or sometimes it takes a little less?
Absolutely, and there's a few factors involved there, like competition is a big factor.
Right.
If you've got people ahead of you that have been there for years and they've fought to get there, don't think you're going to just show up and knock them off, right? It's going to take some time to build that credibility. On the other hand, the search engines have this thing built into them. And again, it's part of their algorithm. And it's interesting because it's actually based on FOMO, fear of missing out. And this happened, I first saw this 9/11 when the towers fell, because people were on there. They were searching for the latest breaking news.
Right.
And Google specifically, their algorithm wasn't set up for that. Their algorithm was set up to move slow. So they missed out. All the people that were searching for that were going to other search engines because they were getting the news quicker. And they learned a big lesson from that.
Oh,
and a lot of times Google leads the pack.
Yep.
So when Google makes a shift, they all kind of shift toward that. So when Google made that shift, they all made that shift too. So there's FOMO in all the search engines. It's really interesting. And for an affiliate, this is really cool. I'm going to give you guys a kind of a trick here that you can create your own FOMO to get fast results. So let's say you're new and you show up. I have seen sites that literally went up the same day that did this trick and got a #1 listing within an hour.
Wow.
And it's
That's incredible.
They were able to create FOMO. And the way that they did it was they took their mailing list. You know, most affiliate marketers build a mailing list. I hope you guys as affiliate marketers are building a mailing list and not just sending your traffic through to offers. You want to build your list first because it has a lot of power, especially for search. So what you do is you take your mailing list and you send out an email with a link to a brand new page that you just put up. And when people start hitting that page and they're not coming through search, the search engines see that traffic and they're like, there's something on there. We're missing out. We need to put that. We need to pump that because they see it as news, just like the towers falling.
Wow.
So it's a cool little trick that most people don't know.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I like how you brought up the fact that Google wasn't as advanced or as fast as they are now. Because when I was in school at the time, I remember I used Yahoo a lot more because I was able to get the things I needed for school a lot quicker than Google. So I always think about that too. Like back in the day, Google was not that good.
Well, Google's like fairly new, really, in the search world.
Yeah.
There was a lot of search engines that were around before them. When I started, they were nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
We were optimizing for things like Alta Vista was the big one.
Oh, that's true.
And even before Yahoo, Alta Vista and Web Crawler and Lycos and
there's so
there
many.
was a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And as time went on, they kind of fizzled out. Some of the bigger ones took precedent. And when Yahoo came on the scenes, their advertising and their marketing was just phenomenal. And they gained a massive market share. And I remember everybody was saying nobody could overcome them. They're too big. They're too powerful. No one will ever beat them.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, this little company called Google shows up on the scenes with nothing more than a white background and a search box. And they just literally swept them off their feet because of the marketing. Again, Yahoo at the time was so entrenched in trying to manipulate what you did and what you saw. They would push you into portals based on what you searched on, and people didn't like it. They just wanted what they were asking for, and Google showed up and gave it to them. They showed up with the one concept of simple search. No circus, no crazy stuff, just a search box, nothing else. Put in what you're looking for and we'll give it to you. Overnight, they literally swept the market with that.
That's so cool. Honestly, sometimes simplicity is the best. So
yeah, absolutely.
And I know you talked a little bit about AI, but what kind of effect has AI had on SEO aside from the algorithm that you mentioned?
Well, we actually use AI for SEO. And I started building AI projects back in, I think, 2011, because I knew it was coming. I saw it coming as clear as day. So we started building software that would actually send search signals into Google. And one of the biggest, most powerful signals that we have in our software is it will send a search out to Google from a real user's device. Like we have our app on tens of thousands of phones out in the world. And what it does is it'll randomly pick a device in the network and it'll run a search for your keyword. And if you don't show up at the top, what it does is it bounces back to the search box and it adds your brand name. Because we found that brand has a big connection in Google's algorithm. If people know the brand to search for it, that gets priority. So that makes it incredibly unfair for the little guy because nobody knows the little guy's brand, right?
Right, yeah.
And you can see this. Like if you just go to Google right now and you can type in almost anything, you're going to see big brands at the top.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, so that's why. It's because they've made that connection. So what we're doing is we're actually sending a double signal. We'll send the signal for the first search word, and when we don't come up, we immediately append the search word with the brand, rerun the search, then we come up at the top, then we click through. So we're actually sending that user signal through there. And what we're doing, the way the search engine sees it is they see the first thing and then they see, okay, well, the user didn't do anything. We failed. We didn't give them what they were looking for. Then they came back and they were more specific and then they got what they were looking for. So with them, they want to shortcut that process. They're trying to anticipate what their users want and just give it to them right away. So we have found using those type of signals has been the most powerful thing in the last probably 5 years.
That's so cool.
And it's so funny that most of the market hasn't figured that out yet. We've been swimming in blue water for the last 5 years with that.
AI has definitely been trending a lot lately, but I didn't know that it's been used even 5 years back for SEO especially. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was at an AI conference a couple months back, and the guy that put on the conference, he knew me. He's known me for years, and he was making reference to me as using AI in robotics. And I'm like, what is he talking about? I don't use robotics. But he was referring to that software that I was just talking about. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, well, maybe I have. Maybe I've been doing this since I even knew what to call it.
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of like my SEO history repeating itself. I was doing stuff and not even
You didn't know what it was. Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so funny. Are you seeing any affiliates doing a good job with SEO right now? Or do you feel like affiliates aren't using it to their best ability?
I think probably the ones that are most effective at it are the ones that have been around for a long time. So they kind of grew up on it. I think there's a lot of new people that come into affiliate marketing because of the appeal. There's quick money. You don't have to build products. And
right.
There's a lot of appeal to affiliate marketing. There's a lot of money to be made, but it comes down to traffic. You are basically, you are a marketer. You're not a product developer. You're not a manufacturer. You're a marketing arm for other companies. So when you're doing that, it comes down to eyeballs. So you can purchase eyeballs. That's probably much easier. I'll tell you right now, it's a lot easier to purchase eyeballs than do SEO to get your eyeballs.
Yeah, of course.
But the thing is, it's definitely not as good. Like purchased eyeballs, you probably need 10 to 1 over search traffic because of like what I said in the beginning. It's so specific. They're actually looking for something.
Yeah.
It's like dating, you're matchmaking. You're putting two people together that want to be together instead of like going into a social situation where people are not looking to date and you're bothering them.
Right. You're like forcing yourself and it's just like an awkward situation.
Yeah. Not to say that it can't work, but it's a much harder situation.
Right. That's a good way to put it. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. It's very much, marketing is very much like dating.
Yeah.
If you ask too much, too quick, you get rejected.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to do micro commitments and also be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like SEO.
So SEO gives you that outcome for sure.
Right.
So that's why I always tell everybody, it is by far the best traffic on the planet. There's no doubt about it.
Because of the quality, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you'd say there's more of a learning curve than paid ads, right?
Oh yeah. There's a huge learning curve.
Right.
Anybody that wants to do that, you are so much better off to find somebody that knows how to do it and learn it from them. Because if you try and figure it out, I've got knowledge layered on over 25 years. You're not just going to get that. You're not just going to figure all that out in 5 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
So
agreed.
You can learn a lot from somebody that has been through the ringer and, taken the hits and evolved, really. That's what it's it's evolved.
Yeah, like a mentor. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've also, playing around with AI and robotics, we've recently, this is very new. And, you might want to bring me back to talk about this at some point, but we have figured out how to take people that are searching and match them up with their marketing ID and collect them as leads without them ever being on your website.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
It's an absolute game changer.
Yeah.
And we haven't even released the product yet. We're beta testing it right now, and the results are phenomenal.
That is so cool. And that's the program that you guys created.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
We haven't even released it yet. So,
cool.
In fact, your people here are probably hearing about it for the first time. No one.
That's awesome.
I've got honored. A handful of beta testers, and that's it. That's all people know about this yet.
Well, that's really amazing. That's exciting stuff for you guys and for everyone out there, really.
It's really cool. And I'll give you an example of how powerful this is. I did pay-per-click. I've done pay-per-click advertising in the past to try and sell SEO software because I didn't want to wait the 6 months. SEO software is really, really competitive. So to do SEO, to sell SEO software, that's a very bloody tank. Very competitive. It could take you years to get there. So I did pay-per-click just to kind of speed the process up. I wanted to just sell the software.
Right.
So I wound up paying about $18 a click. That's a lot.
It is.
And by the time you actually get an opt-in, you're at about $400 to $600 per opt-in.
Damn. Yeah.
So $400 to
That's quite a lot.
$600 for a lead.
Yeah.
And with the software that I'm playing with right now and testing, getting ready to release, I ran the same thing. I ran SEO software, and what it did, it was looking for people that are searching for SEO software and consuming that content on the back end. And it basically grabs them, matches their marketing ID up with a big data source, and pulls their contact information and sends it right to me, right into a Google Sheet. So the first night I started up and went to bed, and I woke up and I had over 600 leads.
Wow.
It was like, oh my God.
That's incredible.
600 leads worth $400 to $600 each. It was awesome too.
That is amazing.
Yeah, to say
Yeah.
that. So it's kind of it's a new way to actually sidestep all the hard work of SEO and just let's just give them to me.
Yeah.
Without doing the pay-per-click thing.
Right.
Pay-per-click is great. You can get instant traffic, but it doesn't mean they're going to opt in.
Yeah, exactly. And it could be very competitive.
Yeah.
And the clicks can be very expensive, like you're saying. So
Yeah. And also when I was paying for those, I had trouble actually getting the leads because there wasn't enough traffic at that price. Because $18 a click, that's all I was willing to pay.
Right.
People that were paying more, they were getting the majority of the leads. So this is going to be a total game changer.
Yeah, it sounds like it. That's awesome. Thanks for telling us.
Yeah,
super
absolutely.
Cool. Do you feel like there's certain niches that are better to promote offers through SEO, or do you think just about anything?
There's definitely niches that are less competitive, for sure. And also, when you're doing SEO, one of the things that is kind of one of the nuances to it and will make you much better at it is the keyword selection. If you go for generic keywords, it's going to be harder for one. If you win, you will get more traffic, but it won't convert. So it's completely backwards of what you think. You don't want a ton of traffic. You don't want generic traffic. You want specific traffic.
Yeah.
Specific traffic comes from specific keywords that are less competitive, easier to rank for, and they convert more. It's funny, people don't understand that. They want quantity, not quality.
Always, yeah.
And if you focus on the quality, I guarantee you it's going to be an easier game to play, and your success is going to be tenfold. It's like I use this analogy. If somebody was searching for tires, right, and they put in tires as a keyword, they would get a sea of results of all kinds of tires on the planet, right? They'd get truck tires, bike tires, car tires of 100 different varieties. And then all of a sudden they're going to say, so if you're getting that traffic, you're not going to be what they're looking for, almost guaranteed. And it was hard to get because it's generic. So the searcher, think about it, the searcher, that was just their first step in their buying journey. They're not ready to buy. They're just starting the search process with the generic keyword. That's not where you want to be. You want to be when they have the credit card in the hand. So they'll refine their search and they'll say, oh, I really want a Goodyear steel-belted radial. So now tire's not even in the equation. It's Goodyear steel-belted radial. And then they do that search and they're like, oh, well, these are all over the country. Let me be more specific. I want it here in my neighborhood. And I also want I want to know they have the exact size that I need, right? Before I drive over there. So the search becomes really, really long tail, and nobody is competing for those searches. Those are the searches where dollars are going to transact.
Right.
That's the way you want to play the game.
Cool. Very specific. Yeah.
You'll be doing a little more work, a little more effort to create content for all that stuff, but it's a game that you can win, and you can win it quickly. And it's the game you want to play.
Of course. Especially for the quality leads. So
Yeah, exactly. I always tell everybody this is a thinking person's game. You really, the more you think about it, the more logic you can put in place, the better your results are going to be. Yeah.
Cool. I know you mentioned some tips and tricks, but if you have any tips and tricks for affiliates that are trying to promote offers through SEO, let us know. Yeah.
Absolutely. So one of the things that you can do, I talked about on-page optimization there in the beginning.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest tricks that you can do is your title tags, because when your page gets listed, that is the only tool that you have to get them to click. And the more they click, the higher the search engine's going to raise you. So make your title tags compelling, and descriptions as well. So title and description, that's your on-page optimization, your two most important factors. I always like with the description, I'll make the title a real attention grabber, but then in the description, I will always truncate it and leave it on a cliffhanger. So they have to click it to find out what's next. Like, get your free ... My free what? I have to click it to find out what I'm going to not get if I don't do this.
Gets people wondering, yeah.
Yeah, so use the curiosity factor, because the more you get clicked, the higher you're going to go in the search. And the higher you go, the more traffic you're going to get.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That is a really, really big one. The other thing, like I had mentioned, using your mailing list to send traffic to create that FOMO is a really, really big bang for your buck type of thing to do. If you're not doing that, you're really missing the boat. If you don't have a list, maybe you don't have that opportunity. But if you do have a list, same thing with your list. When you email these people, if they don't open your email, you're dead in the water. So subject line is the same as your title tag. You want to get it clicked. So you really have to work. Don't cheat the process on your subject lines and your title tags. That's the worst mistake you could make. Because if they don't click, it's game over. You don't even get to start. You don't get to play.
Yeah. It's like the beginning of it all.
Yeah, and calls to action. It's so funny. People forget this. It's a basic marketing thing, but they forget it when it comes to SEO, and it's so important because you're showing that interaction. If you don't tell them to click, they're not going to click.
Of course.
So it's just that simple. Those are like some real big things that you want to do. The other thing too, I have my advertising on my cars, and I put on there Internet Dominators. I don't put internetdominators.com. I put Internet Dominators, which is the brand, and people search it and then they click. Rather than going to internetdominators.com, they'll go search Internet Dominators. So this is creating a brand signal. I've had a lot of people say, hey, you screwed up. You didn't put the .com on your car. And I'm like, no, I didn't screw up. I did that by design.
Yeah, on purpose.
I want that brand recognition. I don't want to give them the shortcut to it. I want them to actually search and click.
So, that's a good point. Never really thought about that either.
That's a few little tips and tricks for you.
Cool.
I don't know how deep you want to go. I've got a ton of them.
Yeah, I bet. Especially with all the years you have with SEO. That's amazing.
I'll give you one more. This is absolutely dynamite. And I haven't seen anybody doing this yet. But link building. When you talk about links, it used to be a game of numbers, like how many people link to you. And now it's a game of how many people click on the links that you have. So rather than having like 10,000 people link to you, I'd rather have one person link to me that was actually sending relevant traffic through that link. So what I've been telling, all the people that I've been training, I've been telling them, here's what you want to do. You want to find link partners. These are not people in networks. These are real business owners that basically are in alignment with what you do. Like, for instance, if you were a realtor, who would be in alignment with you that's not a competitor is a moving company. So if you had movers that put the links to the site, or you put a link from your real estate site over to the mover, and then everybody that you were dealing with, you said, hey, use this mover, his link's on my site. They go to the site, they click the link, and now they're on the mover site. That is going to show Google or any search engine, that's going to show them intent that you have good content and people are actually going there outside of search. So that's a huge, huge factor.
Wow.
That just pumps that whole FOMO that pushes you right to the top.
Yeah.
And
that's
nobody's doing that. I haven't heard any of the SEO guys sharing that. I don't know if they're
Wow.
doing it, but they should be.
Yeah. Cool.
Because again, it's back to quality versus quantity.
Yeah. That's how it should be with everything, really. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Guaranteed you find a couple of link partners like that and you create those relationships, you're going to see some results. Another thing with that same concept in mind, there are a lot of businesses out there, and this could be a business in itself. There's a lot of businesses out there that don't collect email addresses. They don't have opt-ins. They don't understand the whole lead magnet process. So they're missing out on creating a mailing list. If you go in there and you say, hey, you need a mailing list built, you need a lead magnet, I can create that for you. You can go over to Fiverr and create a simple lead magnet for somebody, put it on their site, and tell them in exchange for this, I'm going to put a link from your site over to my site. Who's not going to want to do that?
Yeah, of course.
Who's not going to want to, let you do that for them?
Right. That's amazing.
So that's a good way to get people to say yes. Say, yes, I would love that. Instead of, well, why would I want to link to you? That doesn't make sense, so it's taking something instead of an uphill battle and making it a downhill battle.
Making it easy for them, yeah.
Yeah, it's an easy yes offer.
Yeah, love that. That's cool.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Super cool stuff. And I really appreciate all these tips. I mean, I didn't know any of this, honestly, so.
And if you really want big bang for your buck, on the thank you page of the download of the lead magnet, you put, if you'd like a free lead magnet like this one, contact us here, another link to your site. Now you got a customer and traffic.
That's amazing. It's like 2 in 1.
Good
Love
stuff.
It. Awesome, John. I know we didn't talk a lot about your company, but if you want to give like a little plug, and if our audience wants to go ahead and reach out to you, how can they do that?
Sure. It's internetdominators.com. My email is John, JOHN at internetdominators.com. If anybody wants a free consult, we have that right on the homepage. You can sign up for a free 15-minute consult. Just go to internetdominators.com. I'm easy to find.
And we'll put that information also down below, so take a look at it. Awesome. Thanks again, John. Really appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Well, that's it, you guys. That's all John and I have for you for today. But I hope you learned as much as I did. And if you did, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss any new episodes. See you next time.